guys, welcome to another episode of Autastic, your comedian's guide to autism. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Kirk and Smith, and here is my co-host.
Did you say your name is Kirk N. Smith?
Kirk N. Yeah, N for Nathaniel. Yeah,
I'm Graham and K. Is this your first time ever doing an intro?
I don't know what happened. I had a brain fart halfway through. I was going to go a different direction, and I backed out. Yes, I don't know what happened.
Well, I tell you what, we're not editing it. You're staying in. You're at sea, buddy. Your brain's all helter skelter, topsy turvy.
It's been an exciting few days out here. We are sheltering from. There's a hurricane out here. I think it's Lisa, maybe. I don't know which hurricane it is. There's a hurricane. And so it canceled our route, and it hit Belize the same day we were going to be in Belize. And so we did not do Belize. So an extra sea day, which is not my favorite. But everybo's safe, so that's great.
It's one of those. That's right. Yeah, you better not. It's one of those cancellations. I've done cruise ships where the passengers aren't angry that you're not going to a place. They're like, well, maybe not. Maybe we'll skip it. Maybe we'll just go to the buffet and have a couple extra drinks, hang up by the pool instead of being in a hurricane. This is the comedian's guide to autism. The comedian part is why we're talking about performing on cruise ships and being stuck at sea.
Excellent segue.
Thank you. Kirk has a nonverbal son who is in his early 20s. I have a autistic brother who has autism in his late 30s, and we love him. Kirk, how is JJ?
I had a really good call today. So as longtime listeners know, we try to do a call every day, which works out to probably 5 days a week. Some of the days they'll be like, he does not want to call, or he is spending alone time, which is code for pleasuring himself, I guess, is the nicest way to say that for a family podcast. Yeah, and so he will have some alone time. But today we had sometimes it's really funny, like a lot of kids, everything's a little different. And today he was very engaged and really looking at me, and it seemed like he wanted to connect. And sometimes he'll answer the phone, or I'll answer. I'm like, hello, and he'll be like, bye bye, I gotta go. And so he's not interested at all in talking. But today he was.
Wait, go back. This seems like a breakthrough to me, because usually he just mimics and he says the opposite thing. So that sounds like he's actually speaking to you at that point when he's saying, I gotta go, bye-bye.
He will definitely express himself if it's something he does not want to do. So like if you're like, what would be something anything could be off the table if he's not in the mood, but let's go for a walk. No, I don't want to. Or if you try to take him to a venue and he's ready to go, he'll be like, I gotta go. So like if he's like at, I don't know, church or the mall and he's ready to go, he'll like try to walk to the car and be like, gotta go, bye-bye. So when if I call him and he answers the phone, bye-bye, gotta go, it's like, oh, he doesn't want to talk today. So that happens.
That's hilarious, but it's also speaking.
It's true.
I know it's mimicking, but at what point is what we're doing mimicking?
No, the negatives for sure. He's said for a long time. The negatives, like I don't want to. He'll say no bath. No has been a thing he said for probably 10 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if he doesn't want to do it, there'll be a definite no.
Okay.
The yes, the only thing he'll really positively say for yes is I gotta eat. If he's hungry. But he's always hungry. It's like, you just literally just ate. We're coming from dinner. But
I gotta eat.
So today we had an engaging call. He was just like into it, just looking at me, looked like he was listening. And then so I was talking to him. Hey, I'm coming in 3 weeks for your birthday. And I've got a couple of birthday gifts I'm excited about for him. I've got him a Sterling engine. I don't know if you're familiar with this. This is like
No.
So like there's an internal combustion engine, right, which is a car, and then they've got like I think it's like an external combustion engine, meaning like it's derived off heat, and so like a Stirling, like if you put a little warm glass of water underneath it, it'll turn the wheels up top, and so I got that. I tested out this week, and I'm gonna take it to him in 3 weeks, and hopefully he'll like that. I got him that.
So I got him boiling water that turns like a wheel.
Kind of, yeah. If you put a cup of hot water or something underneath it. Doesn't have to be boiling, but it moves these little like air valves because it disperses hot air through it. It warms up a little piece of metal, and that's going to move this air, and so it's going to move a little piston, and the piston moves a wheel. So yeah, it's always trying to find gifts for him is hard because he's not super interested. I got him a laptop, another laptop, a little Chromebook. And then I got him, another phone that he's gonna like for sure. But I got some other things. How
long is the Chromebook gonna last?
The goal is 6 months, but this one's coming up on a year, so he's doing pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah, he's getting softer with his stuff. Yeah, he's growing up. I've got to play. I've got to play.
He's torn. Yeah, can't play if you rip it apart.
Yeah, it's tough to play when you. Longtime listeners might remember we bought that one of our listeners got him a indestructible tough book, which he promptly destructed. So he took it apart. And then when I reached out to them, like, yeah, well, if you do that, which is like, well, what do you mean? Yeah, if you do that. Yeah, if you take it apart with a screwdriver. But I'm like, yeah, but it's supposed to be indestructible. Not if you take it apart. I'm like, oh, brother. All right.
Yeah, to clarify, it wasn't the kind listener who donated the computer. It was
sorry, I said it wrong.
Toshiba.
The company.
That said they wouldn't replace it.
Yes, because I got the warranty. Because I'm like, he's for sure going to break it, and for sure he did. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's not doing that as much anymore. That was very nice of that listener, by the way. And then I got him got him some sand art. Are you familiar with this thing? I'm hoping he's gonna like this.
Grandma? Yeah, it's like in a bottle.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's got like bubbles and stuff that make the sand go up and down slower. It's different colors.
Oh, you can do it yourself.
Well, you flip it over. It'll be like sand mixed in with water, and it's different colors. And when you flip it, the air bubbles trap the sand on the top part of the screen, and so then it's flat like an ant farm. And then it like moves downwards, and so I'm hoping he's going to like this. Something to look at visually.
So it's in glass. Is it in water?
It's encased in glass, and there's water inside. Yeah, so it's like think of it like a big flat clock, like circular and flat, and then it's got colored sand, water, and a few air bubbles. And
that's a good idea.
When all the sand goes to the bottom, you flip it over, the air bubbles trap the sand, which would now be on top. And as the the water tries to change place with the sand, it like drips through and makes these designs. And if you Google sand art or whatever, you'll see it. You've seen this before. Like, oh yeah, the 80s. I remember that. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's cool. Yeah. That's a good idea.
Trying different stuff for his birthday. Yeah. December 2nd. Yeah. The little guy's going to be 24. Unbelievable. Time flies. How's Peter Parker's Spider-Man doing?
Pretty good, I think. To be honest, we haven't talked in a while, which is weird. He's like calling me twice a week now. I know I wanted him to get a job so he would not call every day and be less lonely, but I think he's too tired after he finishes work. Now I'm lonely. What the heck? Now I miss him.
Working hard, huh?
I was thinking about it today. I used to like make coffee in the morning. He'd like wake me up, and I'd walk with him in my hand on FaceTime, and I'd make coffee, and I'd set up the phone again, on my shelf there, and we'd chit chat while I like ground the beans, and maybe I'd make some eggs or something, and we'd chit chat, and then when I was done all that, I would sit down for a little while, have the first couple bites with him, and then I'd sign off and, look at the news or basketball highlights usually, to be honest. But
oh, how the mighty have fallen, and now you miss his little calls.
Now I miss his little calls.
Well, it's good that he's doing good. If he was calling you all the time, like stressed about his job, then it's not going good. If he's just plugging away and he's doing good, then it's good.
I know it's going well because we just got another update from his job coach and was like, yeah, she went in to actually watch him do it, like go be at work, and everyone likes him, and he's like, goes task to task and does all his stuff, and the guy's a machine. You tell him what to do, I mean, he loves it. He has like pride in his job, and yeah, so he's crushing it over there.
That's one of the things we're struggling with JJ's. I got an email from his what they call good man, which is like a social worker that she sent to the basically the city, county, the municipality about trying to find him a job. Yeah, and his good man is this older Swedish lady who's like very soft spoken. He's kind of old, matronly, kind of probably 70 something.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, now we've been patient, and now I would hate to have to go to involve the news outlets. And she's saying this to the city. And how would you feel about that? But I'm translating it from Google Translate, so it doesn't translate, exactly. My Swedish is not good, and so so that's where we're at now. We're at the point where we're trying to get a little heat going because we're coming up on, again, he's gonna be 24, so it's now, this is his third year of no school, and so it's time. We've tried to be patient. It was COVID, and it's like everything's a little complicated, but unfortunately, as most of you parents know, you got to squeak. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. So,
yeah,
not my favorite thing, but yeah. Go ahead.
When you pay that amount of taxes, I know, like Canada's like that. You expect to get what you pay for. Like you expect someone services to find this person a job and do what they say, and when you don't, people get loud and complain. Right. And my mom has threatened to go to the, not against Liver Clay, they've been fantastic, but just the government not giving him subsidies that they should be giving him, and checks in the mail and whatever, and so I get that, and that's what you do. That's the system. You got to yell.
Yep.
Unfortunately, but anyway, that's good. It sounds like at least he's got his good man, who's a woman, is good and doing great, and pushing and looking out for him and not taking no for an answer. And it sounds like he's happy if he's an engaged listener. And it sounds like
he's doing good. I think he'd be better, with a little job, but we're working on it. It's going to happen.
Sure.
So yeah,
sure. Be careful. He might not call as much. Careful what you wish for, buddy.
It's true. That's true. Mm-hmm. Might pull the old Peter Parker. I'm too tired to chit chat, Graham. I'm sorry. I'm a busy man. I'm a businessman. All right, fair enough.
Mm-hmm. But I wrote back to the lady and I asked.
Go ahead.
I wrote back to the lady and asked because I don't know if you remember, he only works 3 days a week and he's off Monday and Friday. And I asked if he could get his old job back part-time. And they've been giving him the cold shoulder. And I think that he's just not going to be back there, which is what I suspected was going to happen all along, which is why I'm glad I pushed for him to get a new job and not just wait. It's weird to see my parents get older and kind of push less. And you can see that the jobs are shifting over to me. The responsibility is slowly shifting over to me. I don't think Peter would have a new job if it weren't for me pushing.
Okay.
And it's not that my parents are lazy. They're just 74 now. And I don't know. They're just not. They've been retired for like a long time, like 14 years,
right.
13 years. And it's like, I don't know. They're not not used to getting on the horn and making things happen, I guess, as much as I am. I got to scream at people to book me. So I'm who don't want to book me. So I'm
always on the horn.
I'm ready.
I call
I'm
him
always
the horn
on
guy.
the horn.
Yeah.
Buddy, email, phone,
YouTube. You could do Graham a
Zoom.
favor and subscribe to his YouTube. He would love that.
Oh, yeah. Subscribe to my YouTube. I have a new special out. I know we always promote stuff at the end of the show, but you
I
probably
snuck it in the middle.
Exactly. As soon as you hear the music, I know what you guys do. You turn it off. I know what you do. But we got you this
suckers.
time. Yeah. Please. Oh, God, please subscribe to my YouTube, youtube.com/Graham K. I have a new comedy special that I'm very proud of it. There's a couple swear words in there, so don't, but not too many. But, also, what else? I'm not touring. I have hip surgery coming up, so I'm not promoting any tours. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. We subscribe to our Patreon if you'd like. Patreon.com/autastic. Patreon.com. Man, I haven't said that in a while. /autastic. There are literally no benefits for you to subscribing to Autastic. We used to do stuff. Yeah, but the benefits are you can donate $1 an episode, and you can do $5 an episode if you want, and we would appreciate it. And then it helps us keep doing this, and that's it. Just goodwill, I think. Yeah.
I'm with you, man. Yeah, Kirk Smith Comedy on Instagram and YouTube and all of it. Facebook, too. I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe to me. It helps my meetings with my manager go better, where he's like, you're still working. That's great. Speaking of things going great, Graham found a great article this week. And take it away, Graham.
I did. This one is from SciTech Daily. I assume it's real. Scientists reveal new insight into genetic causes of autism and ADHD. Researchers have identified a new gene variants that influence your risk of ADHD, which is what I have, and autism, which is what my brother has. In the group of neurodevelopmental disorders, ADHD and autism have a number of things in common. They are two of the most frequent child psychiatric diagnoses. Both are highly heritable, and although the fundamental symptoms vary, autism and ADHD have a large overlap in their underlying genetic origins. What?
Or oranges, yeah. The underlying oranges
underlying
and bananas.
Oranges, which sometimes oranges, they be underlying sometimes.
It could be.
Researchers...
Under a lion, under a tiger, whatever. Continue. You're doing great.
Yeah. Researchers have now discovered 5 gene variants that are unique to only one of the 2 diagnoses, as well as 7 genetic variants that are shared by both ADHD and autism. We have succeeded in identifying both shared genetic risk variants and genetic variants that differentiate the 2 developmental disorders, says Professor Anders Borglum of the Department of Biomedicine at Aarhus University in Ipswich, Denmark's largest research project with psychiatry, which is behind the study. I read that last paragraph like a Dane. I don't know if you noticed. That means that we are beginning to understand both the biological process that are behind the development of both diagnoses, and as something completely new. Also, the process that push the developmental disorder specifically in the direction of either autism or ADHD. What happens to the brain? The brain's nerve cells, as well as how it grows and communicates, are impacted by the gene variants. The fact that some of the genetic variants identified have an effect on people's cognitive skills in general in the population is also noteworthy. Researchers may observe, for example, that certain genetic variants that only raise the risk of autism also boost cognitive functions in individuals, while complementary variants that only increase the risk of ADHD lower cognitive functions in individuals. I think I got a boost. I'm not gonna lie. Researchers have also discovered a gene variant that increases the chance of autism while also decreasing the volume of a particular brain region in the general population. But the complementary variant raises the risk of ADHD while also increasing the volume of the same brain area. It may seem obvious, but the study is the first in the world to show that people with both ADHD and autism are double burdened with a genetic risk of receiving both diagnoses, whereas people who only have one of the diagnoses, for the most part, only bear the genetic risk variance for this one condition. This means the example that people with both diagnoses have both an equally large load of ADHD genetic factors as people who only have ADHD, and at the same time, the same large load of autism genetic factors as people who only have autism. It makes very good biological sense that some people have both diagnoses, said Anders Borglum. The researchers analyze large data sets of genetic profiles in order to learn more about diseases and developmental disorders. This can make it possible to create more precise diagnosis and earlier interventions and ensure that the individual patient receives the right treatment. There you go. Earlier interventions. The autism diagnosis, the autism diagnosis is typically made before an ADHD diagnosis. So if, for example, the person is also hyperactive and finds it difficult to concentrate, this may well be slightly drowned out by the autism symptoms. And we may not see the ADHD challenges, explains Anders Borglum. But if we have a genetic study of a person with autism diagnosis and we see a major genetic load of ADHD genetics, then it may be that we should monitor that person a bit more closely. In this way we can in the future become quicker to spot the development and give the family good tools to handle the diagnosis too. A few years ago, due to an official diagnosis hierarchy, it was not in principle impossible to diagnose ADHD in a person who had autism, he says. But now we have shown that people with both diagnoses are in fact double burdened with the genetic risk of both developmental disorders. There is thus a clear biological difference between whether you have both diagnoses or just one. That's good for me. The study is therefore a strong biological argument for the revised diagnostic guidelines. Example, in the American Diagnosis and Classification System for Mental Disorders, where it is now possible for the same person to receive both diagnoses, says Anders Borglum. This is the first step. I'm going to read this in a Dutch accent because it's Anders. This is the first step here and now. The study is relevant because it helps to create a better understanding of the causes and true developmental disorders. And in the long term, this can form a basis for better diagnostics and treatment. Does that feel cool?
I have no idea.
Were you there?
I'm going to go with it. Sure.
Okay.
Great.
Reference. Identification of shared and differentiating genetic architecture for autism spectrum disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and... Wait, these are all the references. I think, yes, this is over. I just started reading so I think this article is real.
Well, that's good. I mean, at the very least, that part's good. Yeah. I mean, anything that's going to highlight the chance to get an earlier diagnosis so you can get the additional help, is good, in my opinion. What do you think, Graham?
Yeah, absolutely. But it is, I think... from what I understand, and I need to read this article again. But what I do like is that it doesn't necessarily mean that you have, for myself going forward when I have children, that if it's separate, that might mean that I don't necessarily contain the burden for autism or the genetic trait as much as my brother. But I don't know. I need to, I do think early diagnosis is obviously very important. And it's still not 100% clinically proven that early diagnosis is extremely important, but some people say it's not. But
what? It has to be important at the very least, just to get in the services that you're going to need. I mean,
well, I think in that regard, that's a no-brainer. Yes, but I mean,
especially
like in terms
for
of
severe autism.
Sure, certainly, but I think that what some people feel like, you can almost reverse it if you get to it early. It's like almost like how if you have a stroke, the first half hour is extremely important. But it's not like a lot of people say it's not like that. No matter how much therapy you do, that person is still going to have autism.
Right. I just meant it's helpful for like moms or dads if the son has programs available or the daughter has programs available to them so that they can sleep and have a semi quote unquote.
I agree. Well, yeah. I don't think anyone's disputing that in that regard. I just mean like that you can sort of the idea that you can sort of like therapy it away and reverse it if you catch it early enough is in hot dispute. But anyway, I think we did another episode. We got all our plugs in already, and that feels good.
Well, that's it. I lost good old Gramo. We got cut off at the end, but I think we did it. This is another episode. You have all our plugs. We appreciate you guys being loyal listeners, and have a great week, guys. You can do it.
All right.